confidence level, this number gets bigger. If this number gets bigger, the margin for error gets bigger. So Kendra, what happens to the interval? If the
I was saying that it's harder to determine what the mean is.
Because
Yeah.
the interval is wider because the margin for error goes up. This hasn't changed. Interval is wider. Absolutely. And what happens if he reduces the number of voters to 255? Well, if n goes down, the fraction gets bigger, margin for error goes up, interval widens. Questions? Okay, good. And let's finish with number 3, then I'll adjust the homework due dates, and then we'll call it a day. Okay, so number 3, I'll adjust them in your favor. Software analysis on a random sample of 288 Nevada teachers produced the following 90% interval for the proportion of teachers in Nevada that have between 5 and 10 years of experience. So this is the confidence interval they got. The confidence interval they got was 0.389 to 0.429. Bless you. Did someone sneeze, maybe? Where P is the true proportion of teachers in Nevada that have between 5 to 10 years experience. Okay. Interpret the confidence interval. Interpret the confidence interval. What's the sentence? Somebody interpret the confidence interval. We just need the sentence. Just the conclusion. Now, Shamira, what is it? Just use the formula. No, you got it. Go for it. You got it. Hold on, hold up. We are 90% confident. Yup. Yep, keep going. True proportion of, let's say, Nevada teachers, but yeah, Nevada teachers. Beautiful. Yep. Excellent. Money in the bank. That's all we need. That's all we need, folks. Just give us this on the homework and give us this on the AP Stats exam and we'll be just fine, folks. That's all we need. Okay. Alex.
Are you going to change anything else about this method?
This method? I mean, you'll change when it's like a 2 sample, right? Then you'll just have to do like more conditions, right? And the formula will change slightly. That's it. This is all we're doing for the next 10 days. Okay. Now this is an interesting question that we haven't talked about yet. And please notice the difference in 3A and 3B. 3A said interpret the interval. 3B says interpret the level. So the interval is just like we did here. So this says we are 90% confident that the true proportion is between this and this. In other words, within the interval. To interpret the level, the level says something different. And this is a new sentence that we need to write down. When you're interpreting the confidence level, the 90% confidence level. Yeah, this is a formula too. Or like a sentence stem, yeah. And again, we'll have this posted on the wall as well. So the 90% confidence level says that in 90% of the samples, the true proportion of Nevada teachers with 5-10 years of experience. So let me underline what might change. That might change if it's 95%, but 95%. That might change. This is whatever you're talking about. So 90% confidence interval says that 90% of the samples, the true proportion of the teachers will fall within the confidence interval. I'll explain this in words. Yes, absolutely can. Let me go Shamira, Frida. Shamira? I do remember that. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, right? So this is, so whatever I've underlined is the only thing that's going to be different. So this will be whatever so is this, and this is whatever you're measuring. The population parameter. That's it. Frida, restroom.
So is it always going to say proportion?
Well, no, because that's if it's a categorical variable. If it's a quantitative variable, it would say the true mean. So the true mean number of M&Ms, the true proportion of the categorical, right? Either you've been for 5 or 10 years or you haven't. Do you see the difference there? So what this means is, and folks, this is key because in the exam, there'll be a multiple choice question where they're going to ask it like this. This means that if I were to do this experiment 100 times, so I got a sample, I did it 100 times, 90 times, 90% of 100 is 90. 90 times, the true proportion would be within the interval. So 10 times I'd be wrong. 10 times I'd be wrong, but 90 times I would get the interval right so that the true value was inside of it. So if I run the experiment 100 times, 90 times I'm going to hit the nail on the head, and the true proportion is within my interval. 10 times I miss. That's what we're saying. Eddie.
What if the level is 95?
Then 95 times out of 100 I make it, only 5 times I miss. Does that make sense? Let's do C and we'll call it. Oh, then I need to adjust the homework, then we'll call it a day. Okay, 3C. I think this is pretty quick. How could we increase the size of the... Okay, we've done this a million times. This is like power. Remember, there were always 2 ways to increase power. Sample size, significance level go up. And we asked you that every single time. This is kind of similar to that. So how do we increase the size of the interval? If we want to increase the CI, then we need to increase the margin for error. Please follow the logic here. Increase the confidence interval means we need to increase the margin for error. How do I increase the margin for error? I decrease N or I increase the confidence level. Bigger? And on the flip side, if I want to decrease the CI, then I decrease the margin for error, which means I increase N or I decrease the confidence. All right, so we're caught up with every other campus now. Good job. You had to sit through 2 days of lecture because I had to catch us up, so we're there. So, here's the plan. Tomorrow, though, we're going to get back behind because we don't have class. It's okay. So here's the plan, though. So okay, let's adjust some of the homework. So keep this due Friday. Keep this one due Friday. So do half of it tonight, folks. Do half tomorrow, right? Keep this due Friday. Change the problem set to due Monday. So change this to due Monday. What is the date on Monday? Do we know? February the 2nd, let's call it? Super Bowl Sunday on the 1st. Go Seahawks. But anyways, sorry, that was a non sequitur, which means something right now. Okay. So this, guys, so here's the plan. So tomorrow, no class, right? Friday we'll come in, we'll have work day on this, and then I'll give you another one they'll be due on Monday. So there'll be 2 problem sets due Monday, but you have the whole Friday class to do it, and then the weekend. So my guess is you'll be able to knock most of this out on Friday in class, then have the weekend to do the other one. Okay? 30 minutes tonight, 30 minutes tomorrow. Text me a problem, folks. I haven't, because there's one person who's going to take it tomorrow, so I'll get back to you on Friday. Have fun, guys.